Stop scrolling. 2026 is already here, and it's a graveyard for people who thought they had more time. Look at the man in the mirror. Is he a builder or is he just a liar? How much longer are you going to look at your life and pretend you're satisfied when you know damn well you're not? You've spent years waiting for a version of yourself that doesn't exist yet. You keep telling the same damn story of almost and someday, but here is the cold, hard truth. 2026 doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your past, who doubted you, who left you, or who hurt you. This year is a blank page, but you are the one holding the pen. Too many people think tomorrow owes them something. It doesn't. You don't need permission to change. You don't need applause to start. You were not created to be average. You were created to shake the ground when you walk. The only thing standing between who you are and who you can become is a decision. This is the year your hands finally build what your heart carries. By the end of this year, the world won't recognize you. No more excuses. It's time to rise. Understand this right now. 2026 is not a therapist. It is not a shoulder to cry on, and it certainly isn't a fan of your valid reasons for staying stagnant. The harsh truth is that this year is an indifferent machine that only recognizes output. It doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about the trauma that slowed you down, the past that haunts your sleep, or the list of people who walked out when you needed them most. The world is full of people who are healing forever and doing nothing. You can spend another 12 months nursing your wounds, or you can start building over the scars. 2026 doesn't care about who doubted you, who lied to you, or who quit on you. It only cares if you show up. Every time you pull that hoodie up to hide from the work, every time you negotiate with your alarm clock, you are paying a debt to your past with the currency of your future potential. Stop waiting for the universe to acknowledge your pain before you grant yourself permission to win. Your reasons might be real, but they are still anchors. If you continue to carry them, you will drown in the same spot you stood last year. This year has no ears for your story. It only has eyes for your results. The clock is ticking, and it's time to realize that 2026 is moving forward with or without you. Choose to be the one who moves. Take a look at the calendar and realize the terrifying weight of what you're holding. This is the blank page. You have exactly 365 days laid out in front of you, and for the first time, there is nowhere to hide. Most people see a new year as a chance to wait for something to happen to them, but you need to understand that you are the one holding the pen. The story of 2026 isn't being written by fate or luck or your circumstances. It is being written by the ink of your daily actions. If you don't intentionally write a masterpiece, the world will write a tragedy for you. You can't leave your legacy to chance. Every hour you waste is a sentence you've let a stranger write. Every decision you delay is a paragraph left empty. Realize that this year doesn't owe you a happy ending. It only offers you the space to create one. The question isn't what will happen this year, but what you will command to happen. Stop treating your life like a book you're just reading. You are the author, the architect, and the primary witness. If your story has been a loop of excuses and missed opportunities up until now, this is the moment you rip out the old script. 2026 is a brand new canvas, but a canvas remains empty until you have the courage to make the first mark. What will you write? Will it be a story of another year lost to someday, or will this be the chapter where everything finally changes? Stop looking for a green light that isn't coming. One of the greatest lies you've been told is that you need a perfect time or a seal of approval to begin your ascent. Permission is dead. If you are waiting for the world to clap for your ambition before you've even broken a sweat, you are going to be waiting until the clock runs out on 2026. You do not need a stage, a following, or a support system to decide that your life matters. You do not need a yes from people who are comfortable being average. The legacy you want to build isn't a popularity contest, it's a private war. Too many people are paralyzed because they're waiting for an audience to validate their start. But the truth is, the most important work happens in the silence. When no one is watching, no one is cheering, and the only person who knows you're pushing is you. You don't need applause to start, you need the raw courage to be misunderstood. Stop asking for a seat at the table and start building your own. The moment you realize that you are the only one who can grant you the right to succeed is the moment you become dangerous. 2026 isn't waiting for you to be ready, and it's certainly not waiting for your friends or family to agree with your vision. Execute in the dark. Build in the silence. Stop looking around for a nod of approval and look straight ahead at the work. Your results will eventually make all the noise for you. There is a specific kind of anger that doesn't scream. It burns with a cold, quiet intensity. It's the moment you stop wishing for a better life and start demanding it from the person in the mirror. You have to get tired of your own stories. You have to get disgusted with the gap between the potential you talk about and the reality you live in. Wishing is for the weak. It's a passive hope that something outside of you will change. Demanding is a psychological shift that says, I am no longer available for this version of myself. This shift happens when the pain of staying the same finally outweighs the pain of the work. It's the realization that being a spectator in your own life is a special kind of hell. When you are truly fed up, you stop looking for shortcuts and start looking for weight to carry. You stop asking why life is hard and start asking why you aren't stronger. This isn't about a temporary spark of motivation that dies by Tuesday. It's about a fundamental refusal to negotiate with your own mediocrity. You must reach the point where your excuses sound like nails on a chalkboard to your own ears. No more I'll try. No more we'll see. From this second on, change is no longer a suggestion, it is a mandate. You are moving from a state of preference to a state of necessity. When you demand change, the world moves out of your way, because a person who is truly fed up with their own bullshit is the most dangerous force on the planet. 2026 is waiting for the version of you that refuses to take no for an answer. It is time to get off the bleachers and step into the arena of your own life. Most people are professional observers. They watch other people win, watch other people build, and watch the years slip through their fingers while they comment from the safety of the sidelines. They have a front row seat to their own decline. But 2026 demands that you stop being a fan of your potential and start being a practitioner of your craft. You cannot win a game you aren't playing. Moving from the sidelines isn't a graceful transition, it is a violent collision with reality. It means trading the comfort of the spectator's chair for the dirt, the sweat, and the inevitable bruises of active participation. It is painful to realize how much ground you've lost while you were busy preparing to start. But that pain is the only thing that proves you're finally in the fight. You must become the primary actor in your story, not the person watching the credits roll. Participation means showing up when you're tired, when you're outmatched, and when the weather is against you. The spectator talks about what should happen. The participant makes it happen. Stop analyzing the play and start running it. The sidelines are crowded with people who have opinions but no skin in the game. Leave them behind. Your seat in the stands is officially revoked. From this moment forward, you are not here to watch 2026 unfold. You are here to force it into the shape of your vision. The dirt on your face is a badge of honor that the critics will never understand. Complexity is the enemy of execution. Most people fail because they try to change everything at once, drowning in a sea of good intentions until they drift back to their old, comfortable selves. You don't need 1,000 new ideas. You need the rule of 2. You must strip away the noise and select the 2 specific non-negotiable habits that will anchor your life in 2026. These are not suggestions. They are the twin pillars of your new identity. 1 habit to sharpen your body and 1 to fortify your mind. When you narrow your focus to just 2 primary drivers, you eliminate the luxury of choice. You remove the mental friction that leads to hesitation. Whether it's hitting the pavement for a grueling run before the sun rises or committing to an hour of deep, focused work when the rest of the world is asleep, these 2 habits become your standard of operation. They are the contract you sign with yourself every single morning. You don't need a complex map to find the version of yourself you've been chasing. You just need to follow these 2 lines of action until they are woven into your DNA. When the motivation fades, and it will, these habits are the only things that will keep you moving. They are the non-negotiables that define who you are when life gets heavy. Stop trying to do it all and start doing these 2 things with a level of intensity that scares the old version of you. By narrowing your focus, you broaden your impact. 2 habits. No compromise. No excuses. This is how you build a foundation that cannot be shaken. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable narrators. If you depend on feeling like it to get the work done, you have already lost. To survive 2026, you must build mental fortitude, the internal wire that keeps the current flowing even when the storm is screaming. This is the psychological grit that kicks in the exact moment your enthusiasm dies. It is the ability to look at your exhaustion, your doubt, and your discomfort and tell them they don't have a vote in your performance. Fortitude is built in the moments you want to quit, but choose to stay for 1 more rep, 1 more mile, or 1 more hour of focused work. It is the practice of hardening your mind against the siren song of the easy way. You are not born with this strength. You forge it by repeatedly putting yourself in positions where you are forced to endure. It is about developing a firewall against the opinions of the average and the weakness of your own impulses. When you build this wire, you become unshakable. While everyone else is waiting for the sun to come out or for their mood to improve, you are already halfway to the finish line because your discipline is decoupled from your emotions. You don't need to be inspired to be effective. You just need to be resilient. This is the mental armor that prevents you from breaking when the pressure of your own ambitions starts to feel heavy. In 2026, the person who can suffer the longest with the best attitude is the person who wins. Build the wire. Trust the process. Stay in the fight. You need to understand a fundamental law of your existence. What you do not change, you are choosing to keep. There is no middle ground, no limbo, and no neutral territory. If you are still carrying the same habits, the same excuses, and the same mediocre results into 2026, stop calling it a struggle. Call it a choice. Ownership is the radical realization that you are the architect of your own current frustration. Every time you tolerate a version of yourself that is less than what you're capable of, you are casting a vote for that person to remain. Stop blaming your circumstances, your upbringing, or the economy for the state of your life. If you are unhappy with your body, your bank account, or your mind, and you haven't moved to fix it, you have decided that the comfort of your current prison is better than the effort of your freedom. This is the difference between a victim and a victor. The victim waits for a rescue that isn't coming. The victor takes ownership of the mess and starts cleaning. When you accept that everything in your life is your responsibility, even the things that weren't your fault, you finally gain the power to change them. You cannot fix what you do not own. Ownership is the ultimate form of power. It is the end of the blame game and the beginning of your real life. You aren't stuck in 2026. You are just repeating a set of choices you refuse to abandon. Own your failures, own your silence, and own your hesitation. Only then will you have the leverage to burn them down and build something that actually reflects the person you claim to be. The person you used to be is officially dead. This is the moment where the internal war ends and the era of congruence begins. When you walk into a room now, you don't have to announce your progress or justify your presence. Your frequency speaks before you do. You have reached the state where your daily actions and your deepest ambitions are finally in a straight line. This is the unstoppable version. The person who doesn't need a good day to perform and doesn't need a cheering section to stay on the path. You are no longer acting, you are being. The world hasn't met this version of you yet because you spent years hiding behind the safety of your potential. But 2026 is the year you stepped out from under the hoodie of hesitation and into the light of absolute execution. You are the person who does exactly what they said they would do long after the mood they set it in has left them. This isn't just about winning a single battle. It's about a complete and total transformation of your standard of existence. You are the unstoppable version not because you have no fear, but because you have no more excuses. The noise of the world is quiet now because your internal signal is too strong to be disrupted. You have signed the contract of discipline with your own blood, sweat, and silence. As you stand at the threshold of the rest of your life, remember that the person you were yesterday is a stranger to the person you are today. You have arrived. You have risen. Now, go shake the ground.